What's going on, fellas? It's your boy, Jay Flex, the wrestler, coming back at you with another video. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about what to do when you have been friend-zoned by a woman. Now, this is a topic that a lot of men deal with. They deal with this situation a lot. I mean, when I really think about it, I've even dealt with it at least one time, okay? And it's perfectly fine because we all have to deal with this situation. You know, there are certain women who are in your life that only see you as a friend. They only see you as a platonic friend. They only see you as somebody who they can talk to about anything. You know, they can give intel, you know, on what they're going through in their life, their personal life, to you as a friend. They see you as a brother. They love you as a brother, and that's it. But on the other hand, meanwhile, you as the man are attracted to them in another level. You want to be with them. You know, you want to be their boyfriend. You want to be their man. You want to be their knight in shining armor. You want to be the guy who's going to save them from their troubles, their problems. You want to be the guy who, you know, they'll marry one day or make kids with one day. You want to be more than a friend to them. And a lot of you guys are probably wondering how you get out of the friend zone. Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. What you really need to focus on is getting away from that situation. Okay. Move on. A lot of dudes asking, yeah, you know, I just want to be with this girl. You know, I like her so much, Jay Flex. And I you know, like Flex, how do you get this girl to really, you know, how do I get this girl to like me? You know, all she sees me as is a brother and a friend and somebody who, you know, just she can talk to about her problems. And I'm tired of hearing about, well, obviously, nigga, you ain't tired enough. Okay, straight up, you ain't tired enough because you keep being there and listening to her drama. Now, listen. I'm not saying that, you know, your advice to her isn't valuable to her. It is. But the more you stay in that zone, the more she's going to keep you there. And you will never, ever, 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 ever be anything more than just a friend. And that's something that you just have to take with a grain of salt and deal with. But what you can do for your benefit is move on. Whether that be move away from the same city that you're in, the same state or the same city that she in, the same state, you know, move to another country. You know, the biggest thing is move on for your well-being, your peace, your sanity. Because being her friend is cool for her. But if you want more than that, that's not doing you any good. Okay. That's not doing you any good at all. And she's going to just see you as a friend, especially the more available you make yourself to her. You see, here's the thing, gentlemen. The more you make yourself available to this woman, the more she's going to see you as a friend. And she's also going to see you as somebody who she can always count on, which is great. But that's not really good for you. Because you want to be more than just her friend. You want to be intimate with her. You want to be the man to her. That dude that she's constantly thinking about all the time, day in and day out. That's what you want. But if she's already friend zoned you, you move on because you want to self-improve on yourself. You want to grow in yourself. You want to learn more about yourself. Stay on your mission, stay on your goal, stay on your purpose, because that time that you're going to keep listening to her problems and being there for her all of the time and not getting anything in return, anything that you want specifically, you're wasting your years. You're wasting time on things other than your purpose, your drive, and your destiny. And if you take my advice, gentlemen, and stay on your purpose and your destiny and your goals, you are going to come off as more attractive to women. And you might even become more attractive to that woman Because let's say that you end up going on your grind and your goals, and you know, move on. You stop talking to that girl who was your friend for like a month, 2 months, 3 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years. Well, you become unavailable and you've moved on. And especially if you stay on your shit like you supposed to, you become a different man. You become successful. And I don't even really want to use the term success as the best revenge, because this is not like you're trying to get revenge on this woman, because she really has not done anything to you other than just want to be your friend. But what I'm trying to get you to understand is that it's possible that when she sees how successful you are and how mature you've become, how much you've changed, how much your aura has changed, your confidence has changed, your presence has changed. She hears about you, you know, whether she see you on the news, she hear about you, she see about you on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. She sees and hears about you from her friends, her homegirls, you know, mutual friends that she has that just happen to talk about you. And she sees truly how successful you are and how successful you have become. 5 months from then, you know, 5 years, 10 years from then, she might see you in a totally different light. Why? Because you weren't focused on her anymore. You moved on. You didn't even move on from the standpoint of, because please believe me, I am not telling you to move on and become successful so that way she can see you as successful and and now you can finally, you know, get her the way you wanted to get her all along. No, nigga, no. You just need to do that because you need to do that for yourself. I need for you to really understand what I'm saying. You need to move on for yourself, your well-being, your worth. Now, let me tell you a couple of stories, okay? And then I'm out of here. I'm out because I got to get up in the morning. But let me tell you a couple of stories, okay? So check it out. Personally, I have been through this same thing, this same exact thing. There was a girl that I really liked. I really liked her. You know what I'm saying? We didn't even go to the same school, but I really liked her, okay? And she was my type physically and everything like that. And this was in high school. I really liked this girl. You know, she only saw me as a friend, though. You know, she only saw me as somebody who could give her advice, somebody she could talk to all the time, and she could share ideas with and things of that nature. She respected me, but she never saw me in a sexual way. She never saw me in a boyfriend type of way. She only saw me as somebody who she could look up to as a friend, who could tell her things, you know, about guys and different things of that nature, right? But I wanted more than that, okay? Now, I actually never had a conversation with her about this and wanting more from her. I never told her that. But what I did was I went away for college and I learned more about myself. I moved on. I met more girls. I met more women. I became a man. I got in my 20s. You know, I would hear from her every once in a while. We would text each other every once in a while. Happy birthdays, Merry Christmases, Happy Thanksgivings, maybe. See each other on Instagram, Facebook. Now, what happened, gentlemen, I became attractive to her in a way that she never saw me in. Why? Because I was less available to her. Why? Because she didn't have access to me as much as she did before. She saw me grow. She saw me develop. She saw me mature. She saw me become more confident. So much so that she became into me and attracted to me more than just in a platonic way in friendship. And we started hanging out more. There were times where we hung out. You know, there were times where we, you know, were intimate with each other. And she enjoyed my company, and she didn't even really, it was in a sense that where it was totally different from how it was before. She didn't even really talk to me about her problems or anything like that. Why? Because she didn't even want to put me in that seat again. Because she saw me as something different. Because my aura was so different. But my aura wouldn't have been like that had I not improved and self-improved on my journey, on my mission, on my goals. I became attracted because I became purpose driven. I became unavailable, to a point where it was like, man, he's on his stuff. I gotta, man, like, oh my gosh, I just want to talk to him. I just want to be with him on another level now. And am I saying this and blowing smoke out of my mouth? No, she told me these very exact things. These very exact things came out of her mouth. She said to me, I always liked you, but I guess I never thought I liked you as much as, or I never thought I would like you as much as I like you now. Just something about you is so different from what it was in high school. Well, yeah, I grew up. I moved on. And I learned more about myself. But I had to go on that journey. And truthfully, people, I wasn't even thinking about her in my journey. There were a few times where I did, but, I would see her with her boyfriends or whatever, or her boyfriend or whatever, and who she had at the time, and it was what it was. And I had a girlfriend at the time. And, we crossed paths again. And it just happened organically, without it being forced on either of our parts. It just happened organically. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If it ain't, it ain't. There's another example or reference I want to talk about. It's a show called The Office. Now, for you guys who are not familiar with it, it's these two characters. One is named Jim, the other one is named Pam. Now, Jim wanted to be with Pam so bad, but they were best friends. Pam only viewed him as a best friend. Pam only viewed him as a guy who she could talk to about anything, could talk to about, her dramas with her fiance at the time and how, he was a dog and he didn't really appreciate her. And Jim, on the other hand, is like, why don't you just break up with them, and like, because you should be with me. Of course, he isn't telling her this. He's saying this in his mind, as we all have. And he keeps dealing with her and dealing with her. He approaches her with a, conversation like, I want to be more than just friends, in 2 occasions. And she rejects him. What he ends up doing is he moves on. He ends up being transferred to another branch in the company. He finds another woman. He moves on because he wants to learn about himself, though. And in the process, he finds another woman. He learns about himself. He grows. Meanwhile, Pam is thinking about him a lot. She's thinking about when he tries to kiss her. She's thinking about when he, in a sense, proposed to her and proposed that she leaves her fiance at the time. She rejects him, though, and she thinks about that. Fast forward to season 4, she still thinks about him, and he ends up transferring back to the same branch that he was at and where Pam was at. And also Jim's girlfriend at the time that he was with, Karen, ends up transferring to that same branch. And Pam sees both of them happy together, kissing together, smiling together. And she imagines even more what it would be like to be with him. Now, fast forward, of course, Jim ends up breaking up with Karen because he really wants to be with Pam in the first place. But he was unavailable for a long time, and that made her feel some type of way. That made her more attracted to him in a type of way that she wasn't attracted to him before. And he wasn't even trying to get with her anymore. He moved on. And of course, in the back of his mind, he still wanted to be with her, but he moved on. He accepted the fact that, look, it's not going to happen. Now, she, in a sense, had to be available and make herself available for him to ask her out on a date. And she said yes. Why? Because she saw him as different. She saw him as more than a friend because he developed himself. He grew. He became a better man, a more mature man. And he learned more about himself. And gentlemen, this is the last point I want to drive to you. Women find it attractive when you stay on your purpose and on your mission and you focused, locked in on what you got to do. And if y'all cross paths again, and if it's meant to be, and she may want to take you out the friend zone, hey, it might happen. But just understand this. The main point of this video is this. Move on, learn more about yourself, and grow. Become attractive. Become that nigga that women think about and want to be with. Become that guy that's charismatic, that's authentic. Somebody who they deem as a select man. Shout out to Ron Wills, of course. But you can only do that when you really focus and move on. Don't get stuck on that person that dissed you, that woman that dissed you, or put you in the friend zone. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If it ain't meant to be, it ain't meant to be. So anyway, fellas, that's it. And again, it's Jay Flex, the wrestler. And I'm out. Peace.